This episode has been brought to you by diceygoblin.com, online board game retailer, where every board game is an award-winning board game. Hey everybody, welcome to Board Online, Board Offline. I'm Baker, and today I'm really excited to be bringing you the rules of Abyss. If you haven't played Abyss, then this right here should get you right into the game so you can start playing without too much trouble. I do want to point out that Abyss is sold at our sponsor, diceygoblin.com, which, among other things, gives a portion of their proceeds to nerdy fundraisers. It's a pretty cool operation they've got over there. You should go check them out. Without anything else, let's get right into the rules. To get set up, you'll put the board in the middle of the table. Then you'll shuffle the exploration deck and place it face down on the left side of the exploration track. Then you'll shuffle the Lord deck and place it face down on the Lord space. Next, turn over the top 6 cards of the Lord deck. Place each one on a space like this. And this area of the board makes up what's called the court. Next, shuffle the location tiles. Place them near the board and turn one over. Next, shuffle the monster tokens and place them near the board. Take a threat track and place it near the board. And take a threat token and place it at the top of the threat track. Then take the key tokens and place them near the board. Take the pearl supply and place 1 pearl in each player's starting cup, and then place the supply near the board. Finally, choose 1 player randomly to be the start player. To be crowned King of the Abyss, you must gain the most influence points by the end of the game. Influence points are gained mainly from affiliating allies, recruiting lords, controlling locations, and slaying monsters. Players will take turns in clockwise order, and there's several actions that a player can take during their turn. The first possible action is called Plot at Court. Currently, the court is full. As you can see, there's 6 lords in the court right now. And so plotting at court is not an action that could be taken. However, if there are empty spots in court, as you see there's 2 empty spots here, a player may optionally choose to plot at court. In order to plot at court, a player pays 1 pearl back to the supply to reveal a new lord in court. A player may pay as many pearls as they'd like, as long as they have the pearls to pay and there's a space available in court. If you do not have the pearls, or there are no empty spaces, or the Lord deck is empty, you may not plot at court. After the optional plot at court step, you must then take 1 action. Taking one of these actions is mandatory. You can either explore the depths, request support from the council, or recruit a lord. If you choose to explore the depths, you'll reveal the top card of the exploration deck one by one and place them in the first open space of the exploration track. And real quick, let's just take a look at this card. On an ally card, what you're going to find is the symbol for the faction the ally card belongs to, and obviously it's a squid, and then how many influence points this particular card is worth. Each time you reveal a card, follow the following procedure. If the card is an ally, as you can see it is, you must first offer the other players the opportunity to buy this ally from you going clockwise. The first player to purchase a card pays the cost to you and then adds the ally to their hand. This cost is going to increase each time an ally is purchased. The first opponent to purchase an ally card from you will pay you 1 pearl. They'll take a pearl from their supply and give it to you, which you'll put into your supply. The second ally that is purchased from you will cost 2 pearls, and the third will cost 3 pearls. Each opponent may only purchase 1 ally during your turn. Also, it should be noted that the cost of an ally card starts at 1 each turn that you do the Explore the Depths. It does not continue growing from turn to turn. Now, if none of the other players want to buy the revealed ally, you must either add it to your hand for free, which will end your turn immediately, or leave it in its space on the board and reveal the next card. If all the spaces fill up, and you get to the final space, and no one wants to purchase that final ally, then you must take it into your hand. And then you can see there's a pearl symbol on the board. That means that you will actually take a pearl from the supply and place it into your supply as well. If, on the other hand, the revealed card is a monster card, you must make the following choice. You either fight the monster or you keep exploring. If you decide to fight, there is no risk. Victory is automatic. You then win the rewards shown on the threat track. The rewards on the threat track are as follows. On this first space, you're allowed either a pearl or a monster token. On the second space, you're allowed either 2 pearls, a pearl and a monster token, or 2 monster tokens. On the third space, you gain a key. The fourth space, you gain a key and either a pearl or a monster token. On this space, you gain a key and 2 pearls, or a pearl and a monster token, or 2 monster tokens. And on the final space, you gain 2 keys. When a monster is revealed, if you choose to continue exploring rather than fight the monster, you'll move the threat track up 1 space. This will determine which rewards you get when you fight the monster. If you decide to fight a monster, you'll discard the monster into the exploration deck discard pile. You'll claim whatever reward the monster threat token is currently on, and then you'll reset the threat token back to the first space. If the final exploration card revealed is a monster, then you must fight that monster, and you get the reward from the threat track as well as the 1 pearl for reaching the end of the exploration track. Once you have decided to either add an ally to your hand or fight a monster, your turn ends. All allies that remain in the exploration track are placed face down in the council on the space matching their race. If the exploration deck runs out, you'll take the discard pile, shuffle it up, and create a new exploration deck. The second possible action you can take is to recruit a lord. Now, before I explain how to recruit a lord, let's take a look at the anatomy of a lord card. You can see up here are the number of influence points the lord is going to give you at the end of the game. Right here, this symbol means that the lord provides you with a key. Down here tells you the total influence cost to recruit this lord. This tells you that you are required to at least have 1 crab ally to recruit the lord. And then these 2 bubbles mean that besides this crab ally, you need 2 more races to recruit the lord. These bubbles are important because you must have, in this case, 3 different races, no more and no less, to recruit this lord. So on your turn, you decide to recruit a lord, and you look down at what's available here, and you look at your hand, and you see that these are the cards that you have available to you. Now, maybe the peddler is the one you want. Well, you do have a shellfish ally in your hand, but you don't have 8 total influence points of only the shell ally, because you can see there's only 1 bubble there, and it has the shell race in it. So you don't have enough to get that one. However, then you look at the Reaper over here, and you can see you need 7 influence points, a seahorse, and 1 other race. And you look, and well, you've got 4 right here and 3 here. That's 2 races. One of them is a seahorse. So you'll reveal those 2 cards and then claim the Reaper as a lord that you have recruited. Let's say instead you only had 6 influence points to recruit the Reaper. You could instead use a pearl to make up that 1 point difference. So you have 6 influence points The Reaper requires 7, so 6 plus the 1 pearl would make 7 influence. It's important to note, however, that you are still required to use the exact number of races required on the card to do this. If you choose to use a pearl to help you recruit a lord, that pearl will go into the supply. So again, let's say we're recruiting the Reaper. We're using 7 influence points from our hand. The Reaper gets placed face up in front of us. And then all the cards used to recruit the Reaper get discarded into the exploration deck discard pile, except for the lowest valued card. That one becomes affiliated with us and goes face up in front of us as well. An affiliated ally can no longer be used to assist in recruiting lords. However, at the end of the game, it will potentially give us more points. After a lord has been recruited, this lord is said to be free and is available for your use. Most lords have powers that are used immediately and only once. For instance, the peddler, you gain 2 pearls if you recruit him. You can tell it's a one-time use power because of this arrow right here, just like the elder has an arrow there. However, a lord like the tamer does not have an arrow next to their power, and so that lets you know that this is actually a semi-permanent power that can be used during your turn. In this case, when your opponent fights a monster, they earn the reward from the previous monster track space. The lord's controller decides when these semi-permanent powers are used. If a lord has a semi-permanent power like the tamer, that power remains in effect until the lord is used to control a location. After you recruit a lord, you then move all the lords as far to the right as possible, filling all spaces. If there are at least 3 lords left in the court, then the recruited lord is not immediately replaced. But if there are only 2 lords left in the court, you gain 2 pearls and refill all empty spaces. So for instance, if the active player recruited the elder, then you would move the tamer down, and you see there's 2 pearls here. So that reminds you that the active player will take 2 pearls from the supply and then refill all empty spaces. So far we've covered exploring the depths and recruiting lords. There's one other action to choose from during your turn during the phase where you take 1 mandatory action. This is called requesting support from the council. All you do during this phase is you decide from the cards that have been discarded into the council spaces, you choose 1 deck and without looking at it, take it into your hand. After you have either explored the depths, recruited a lord, or requested support from the council, you'll then check to see if you have 3 or more keys. In this case, you can see the active player has a key from the tamer, a key from the shipmaster, and a key from fighting a monster. Once you realize you have 3 keys, you must immediately, as the final step in your turn, take control of a location. To take control of a location, you may choose one of the face-up locations, and keep in mind at the beginning of the game there will be only 1 face-up location, or you can draw 1, 2, 3, or 4 additional locations. Choose between them and place the ones that you have not chosen face up, which then of course makes them available to future players. You then take the location you've chosen and you'll place it over the powers of the lords that were used to take control of it. These lords are no longer free and they no longer give you the benefits of their powers. They still will give you the benefits of their influence points at the end of the game. Also, if you had a loose key from fighting a monster, that gets discarded back in the main key supply. It should also be noted that if you gained 2 keys from fighting a monster and ended up with more than 3 keys at the end of your turn, you choose which 3 keys will be used to take control of a location. At this point, you have ended your turn. So let's run through one more time what your turn may consist of. First, you may optionally pay 1 pearl per lord to plot at court, bringing new lords into empty spaces in court. Next, you choose one of the following actions. Doing this is mandatory. You either will explore the depths, request support from the council, or recruit a lord. And finally, if you have 3 keys or more, you must take control of a location. When you have finished all your mandatory actions, your turn is over, and the player to your left now begins their turn, and this will continue until the game end conditions are met. The game ends when either of the following conditions occurs. Any player recruits their 7th lord, or any player recruits a lord, refills the court, and there's not enough lords to fully fill the court. When either condition is met, the active player completes their turn, then each other player takes one final turn. Once the game ends, each player will take the lowest value ally currently in their hand and affiliate that with them as well. Now we enter the scoring phase, and you'll use this scoring pad to track your score. First, you'll score any locations you control. For this player, you can see he controls the barracks, which means 2 influence points for each of your soldier lords plus 7. Well, he has 2 soldier lords, so that'll be 4 influence points plus 7, so that's 11 influence points, which you mark right there next to the locations. Next, you'll score your lords. So in this case, you can see this player has 4, 9, 14, 23, 30 points from lords. Next, you'll take your strongest affiliated ally from each race. So the strongest ally here is going to be 3, 6, 8, 11. And then finally, any monster tokens that you've received for fighting monsters. In this player's case, he has none. So this player's total score is going to be 52 after getting 11 points for a location, 30 for lords, 11 for allies, and 0 for monsters. The player with the highest influence points wins. If there's a tie, the tied player with the most pearls wins. And if there's still a tie, the one with the highest valued lord wins. So there you have it. Everything you need to know to play Abyss. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. You can find me on Twitter. I'm on BGG. We've actually got a guild over on BGG now as well, so please check that out. And until next time, if you're bored online, bored offline.